Yo, what's going on guys, it's Anime1 back here with another video, and today I'm here with another part of what if Naruto was banished from the Hidden Leaf Village and awakened his secret power. So if you guys like the content in the channel, please subscribe to the channel, and while you're at it, also like this video. So let's begin the video. Konoha, we go to the Uchiha compound, where only a single person lived, along with a few more but they would only visit. The boy, Sasuke Uchiha, was laying on his bed, looking up at the ceilings. He was having thoughts, what was about to come in the future, and what had happened in the past. He would never forget the day that he killed Orochimaru and absorbed the snake. And also, he'd never forget the day when he battled Naruto and when he got to know the truth about his sister. Flashback. Sasuke and his team, Hebi is what he called them, were on a trail looking for his sister, Izumi Uchiha, the one human that Sasuke hated the most in this planet. Was her. His hatred drove him to become this strong, and he would make sure that his hatred would be the reason that his sister was lying dead on his feet. He would make sure of that. And as he was doing that, well, his team, they got separated. Because, a crow came towards Sasuke. Sasuke immediately knew whose summoning animal this was. He controlled his rage by seeing the crow as the crow landed on his shoulder and looked into his eyes. Sasuke saw the Sharingan, the three Tomoe, looking at him. The crow looked at Sasuke for a second, and Sasuke looked at the crow by activating the three Tomoe Sharingan as well. As for a split second, they connected eyes. Sasuke closed his eyes as the crow's eyes returned to normal, black. As the Sharingan disappeared, the crow started flying away. As Sasuke opened his eyes, very well then, he thought, let's go to the late Uchiha hideout in the Nakano shrine, Sasuke said. All of them looked at him puzzled. What was that about? What was that crow about? Suigetsu asked. Karin answered. The crow had chakra. It was a summoning animal. That was for obvious. But Sasuke, I'm also curious. What happened? Sasuke didn't answer. He just told him what to do. As I said, we're going to the Uchiha secret Nakano shrine. There, I might need your help. So, yeah, let's go, Sasuke said as they all rushed off. At least a day later, Sasuke was walking towards the shrine along with his teammates. But before any of them could do anything, they felt a huge surge of chakra, and a red hair appeared in front of them. You are, one of the Sasuke's teammates said. Shanks, the king of darkness. What is the world's most dangerous criminal doing here? Asked Sasuke as he looked at the man. Shanks just shrugged, nothing specific. All of you are not allowed to pass, except for you, Sasuke Uchiha. You may go, said Shanks as he unsheathed his sword. I'll make sure that none of you pass, and Izumi and Sasuke can talk it out, said Shanks as Sasuke looked at him. Very well then, I doubt there is anything to talk about, but still, said Sasuke as he ran past Shanks. But as Suigetsu and others about to run after Sasuke, a dark aura surrounded Shanks as a wall formed in front of him. You're not going anywhere, and if you want, you have to face me, Shanks said. They were not foolish enough. No, they were not foolish enough to face the most notorious criminal in the world, known for his strength and a special Kekkei Genkai, the Dark Release. They were not foolish enough, as the others only stayed there. Jigo tried to do something but Karin grabbed his hand. She shook his head. I can just feel by his chakra, even if he's suppressing it. He's way out of our league, Jugo. This is not something that we can handle, she said. Jugo looked at Karin and nodded. I guess the only option we have is to wait, or we're gonna get killed, aren't we? Setsugetsu, Karin gave him a nod. Even if I hate you, I hate to admit it, but we are outmatched, outclassed completely over here. Even the three of us are no match for him, Karin said. Shanks looked at the girl. Well, that's some sensory ability you have there, but I'm glad. And you know when you're outmatched. That's one of the skills that a shinobi must have. So you're all on a good side of mine. But, as the girl said, you are not allowed to pass. But if you want to pass, you'll have to go through me. And I doubt that you could. Shang said as he started sheathing his sword. There's no need to fight. But remember, if you make any careless moves and try to sneak attack on me, I'll guarantee this much to you. My blade will reach your throat before your attack can even connect with me. Shang said his tone was dead serious. The others only gulped. Well, that's something, said Shigetsu. Meanwhile, with Sasuke, he was walking at his normal pace. He remembered everything. That night, when Izumi has killed his parents, his clan, everything was taken away from him. And the night where he swore that he would get vengeance for his clan. And also, the day when he went to save Naruto, he met Izumi, and the words that his sister said to him. You're too weak. You lack hatred, little brother. And you know something? You never will, she said. Sasuke clenched his fist. Those words, he would regret saying that to him right now. Sasuke thought. As he was thinking that, he saw her. She was sitting on a throne, like nothing was wrong. She was wearing a little different outfit. From what he remembered, Izumi was a part of the Akatsuki, but she was not wearing a Akatsuki cloak. What's with the outfit change? We decided to leave the organization because they were no use to you. Or were the members of the organization too powerful for you to kill and gain power? Said Sasuke. Izumi looked at her little brother. Is that your impression of me, Sasuke? She said. As Sasuke looked at her. Of course it is. What would I expect from a girl who killed her own parents and murdered her clan in cold blood for power? Said Sasuke as his eyes were closed. Is that so? I wonder how much can you really see with this shotgun of yours? She said. Sasuke opened his eyes as the shotgun was activated. Now, Izumi, the thing I see is you crawling at my feet, dead, said Sasuke as Izumi smirked. Oh, is that so? Said Izumi. Or anything, the two clashed their kunais at her, which easily dodged by Izumi as she jumped into the air, using her feet to land on the ceiling of the room. However, their eyes quickly widened at the sight Sasuke appearing before her, and he quickly stabbed her to the chest. With his katana before he fell to the floor, he quickly pinned her down to the floor with a grin on his face. Before he could celebrate, though, Sasuke narrowed his eyes as Izumi brought the two fingers up before pointing them towards a different place in the room, making Sasuke's eyes widen slightly. And he turned his head towards where she was pointing. To his surprise, smirking, Izumi could be seen who was sitting on a chair she had originally been at the beginning. So, you never actually moved, Sasuke commented, grasping the situation before sighing, throwing off his cloak, revealing him to be in a black sleeveless top and black bottoms. Do you really believe you could defeat me with your shotgun? Izumi questioned, crossing her legs with her arms folded. Where's your Uchiha pride? I didn't think you were so weak. You could actually fight me with your eyes. Sasuke taunted. He knew he had no chance in defeating her with his Sharingan, as hers was far mature and experienced. He would have to rely on his combat skills and hope his physical strength would be enough to give him the advantage in the fight. Full's little brother in strength, speed, intelligence, and ocular abilities. I'm stronger than you. Trying to top me will only lead to your death. Izumi said, standing and walking downly towards Sasuke with slow steps. Sasuke smirked as he noticed Izumi walking towards him. Despite how long it had been since he had seen his sister, he knew exactly how to get on her nerves. Like him, her blood must boil at someone calling her weak, and he knew that. You can't kill me, Izumi, because I'm much stronger than you are right now, Sasuke stated, running towards Izumi, who in response ran at him before they both clashed his katana meeting her kunai, causing sparks to fly around them. Meanwhile, with Naruto, the Konoha team were, chasing around. They were given a mission by Tsunade to, track Sasuke's location and bring him back to the village. Why? Because he was the last Uchiha, and Izumi was, out of grasp. So he was too strong to be captured alive. So that was not an option. So the only one that was left was, Sasuke. But as Hinata saw what was happening, a man appeared before them, all their eyes widened. In the team were Kakashi, Sakura, Hinata, Kiba, Shino, and Yamato. They're all wide. All of their eyes widened as they saw the man that was standing in front of them. His red hair flowing in the air, his cold blue eyes looking at them, as his, cloak was flowing in the air as well. Naruto looked at all of them with a disinterested look. His white shirt, was still open at his chest as it revealed his chest muscles, and his black pants. Naruto looked at all of them. He was standing on a branch. It's been a long time, Kakashi, Sakura, said Naruto as he looked at both of them. And he glanced around and looked at the others as well. Naruto, said Kakashi as he looked at his former students. Indeed, it has been a long while. How have you been doing? Kakashi asked. His tone was, rather genuine. Well, you could say I've been doing better since I left the village. Because that village was a hellhole, and you knew the reason that others don't you, Kakashi? Naruto said. Kakashi narrowed his eyes. So, Jiraiya told you, he said. Naruto shook his head. The old pervert didn't tell me. Someone else did, but that doesn't matter. The village that throwed out their own son's hero, their own hero's son. What a pity. But not that it matters to me anymore. So, why all of you are here exactly? Said Naruto. We are here to go after Izumi Uchiha, said Sakura stepping forward, and in extension, Sasuke as well. She said. Naruto looked at the pathetic girl. He remembered what she said to him. He would never forget that day. Flashback. Naruto was looking at Sakura, who had slapped him across the face. Sakura, why? Those only the words that Naruto said. You come up to me with that happy-looking face of yours. You didn't even bring Sasuke back, Naruto. Did you really expect me to just think that things can be as they were before? No, they can't, said Sakura. But Sakura, I tried my best. I was not stronger than him, and you knew that fact. He said. Sakura smirked. Of course I knew that fact, But you wanted Sasuke gone out of the picture, so that I would go out on a date with you, Naruto. But get it through thick skull, I'm never gonna like you, Naruto. I wish that it was you that I left, not Sasuke. Naruto remembered those words pretty good. Flashback ends. He looked at the girl that now he hated. Oh, so this time you're trying to take responsibilities in your own hands, Sakura. What a disappointment. Of course you would, since your pet dog, that was me, wasn't around anymore, Naruto said. Sakura looked at him. You have changed, Naruto. You're much colder, and the aura around you is much darker, she said. Naruto looked at her with a smirk. Of course it is. Well, neither the village or you or anyone in it matters to me anymore. None of you are allowed to pass. You won't pass me. So the battle between Sasuke and Izumi will continue, said Naruto as he looked at all of them. And I'll make sure that every single one of you knows what I'm capable of after this fight, said Naruto. Meanwhile, Sasuke panted as he attacked Izumi with a barrage of kicks and punches. However, he deflected each one as if it was nothing more than swatting flies. Gritting his teeth, Sasuke coated his hand in lightning before trying to plunge it right into her head. Chidori, Sasuke shouted, gritting his teeth. However, his attack could only be met with Izumi, and his hand being grabbed, and his wrist being stopped. Sasuke's attack inches away from her face. You should know by now, this level of attack won't hurt me, Sasuke. Izumi said bluntly, staring into her brother's Sharingan eyes. She could only see hatred radiating from him. Thinking quickly, Sasuke grabbed Izumi's hand while blocking his attack with and used it as a lever to throw her in the air, to which she flipped in midair before landing on her feet and turning around with a smirk. Seems like you've learned a little from last time, Izumi said. The last time Sasuke had tried to hit her with a Chidori, he snapped his wrist. However, he had managed to stop her from doing it this time by countering. I'm not a kid anymore that you can beat around. This time I'm going to beat you up, just like how you like it, Sasuke replied, with the lightning around his hand disappeared as he confidently walked forward. My, how arrogant you have become, Sasuke. That's actually really unattractive quality in a man, you know. Izumi taunted with a smirk at the confidence of her younger brother. So, well, you know all about that. With that attitude of yours, you have already frightened all the males around you with a stuck-up personality, Sasuke replied. At first, it made Izumi's eyebrow tick slightly, however, soon she smirked again. Well, I've had a male partner for the past few years, and well, let's say he wasn't frightened for what I did to him. Izumi commented, thinking about, well, whom you all guys already know. And what Sasuke said about what it was true, even when she was younger, her arranged husband had been frightened by her strength because she had been quite stronger than him. However, Naruto was an exception. He was never afraid of her, nor was he ever threatened by her nearly equal strength, not to mention, despite even her slightly arrogant tendencies and stern personality, he always seemed to cope up and enjoy being around her. So you... How disgusting. Whoever that man is, he must be quite unlucky to be going out with someone like you. Well, I'll defeat him and kill him as a compensation for making you suffer too in the afterlife, said Sasuke with a smirk. You think you can defeat Naruto? Izumi said with a slight chuckle in her voice before she narrowed his eyes at Sasuke. Sasuke's eyes widened. No, Naruto, Sasuke said. Izumi nodded. Indeed, it is. It's not a double-sided thing, but I love Naruto, and that's how it is. I don't know, I'm not sure about his feelings, since he's stoic and he doesn't show much emotion these days. But Sasuke, if you think you can defeat Naruto, you're well head over heels. There's no way that anyone can defeat him, not even me. I'm warning you, if you attack him, he will kill you, so stay away. Izumi stated, rushing towards Sasuke. She was trying to say this for Sasuke's sake. She knew, unlike her, Naruto wouldn't have tolerance for Sasuke. If he attacked Naruto, then Naruto would just, well, kill him. You and him are nothing but scum. Sasuke shouted back as he ran towards Izumi, throwing a kunai towards her, which she dodged while tilting her head to the side. But before the kunai went completely past her, she caught it by using her fingers to cast the kunai at the end, where the circle ring was. So noticing this, Sasuke's guard up. Izumi was impressed by how he had managed to keep his guard up, impenetrable almost all directions. However, narrowing her eyes, she threw a kunai at the ground a few feet over from Sasuke as he watched it deflected and bounced up, grazing up to Sasuke's knees, which caused him to gasp, however, to move his attention to his knees. However, the slightest distraction was all Izumi needed to get better of him as she rushed forward and grabbed both of his wrists, before sliding beneath him and using her feet to kick him in the ribs, sending him flying into the air. Sasuke grunted as the kick from his sister knocked the air out of him, but before anything, he quickly focused back onto her, and he noticed her smirking at him, knowing she had just gotten the better of him. Quickly spinning in the air, Sasuke pressed his feet against the ceiling of the room before going through hand seals. Fire style. Great fireball jutsu! Sasuke shouted as he created the hand style for the fireball, which he blew towards Izumi. He raised an eyebrow at him for using such a technique. Fireball jutsu, Izumi said, and ran through the same exact hand sign Sasuke had just went through a few moments ago, before blowing even a large fireball towards Sasuke, making the two collide before fighting for dominance. Eventually, after a few minutes, a struggle of both fireballs disappear, cancelling each other out. However, the heat of the attacks had been so hot, the walls of the ceilings had been red and at the tint of them right now. Dropping on the floor on one knee, Sasuke glared at his sister. She was still as powerful as he remembered all those years ago. No matter what he threw at her, she always had the capabilities of countering it and making him look like a kid. You know, despite the circumstances, this is the first time I've enjoyed fighting for a long time, Sasuke stated, standing up as he cracked his neck before her. He absolutely hated his sister, but fighting another Uchiha was exciting. I suppose that makes two of us. Izumi commented back at her with a shotgun, morphed into the Mangekyo. Naruto dodged, a Chidori from Kakashi, as Kakashi turned around to swipe his, lightning blade towards Naruto, but Naruto grabbed Kakashi's hand. Too weak, said Naruto, as a dark aura surrounded his hand as the lightning started disappearing from Kakashi's hand. What the? Kakashi thought, before he was kicked right in the stomach as that sent him flying. Several woodbines started wrapping around Naruto, as Naruto was still unfazed. As those woodbines wrapped around Naruto, Naruto muttered only a few words. Fire release. Eruption, said Naruto as his body ignited with flames, making the firewood burn away as the flames disappeared around him. Naruto looked at Yamato, a wood style user. Interesting indeed, Naruto said. Before he had to dodge a punch from Sakura was tilting his head that was aimed right at his head. Naruto, don't get in our way, she said. Naruto looked at her. You can get the damn Uchiha back for what I care. But I'm not letting you interfere with Izumi's battle. This is her battle, and she'll do it the way she wants. Naruto said as he grabbed Sakura's forearm before he twisted his body and threw her down to the ground. Sakura actually, with her actual chakra control, managed to control himself from completely getting her bag destroyed. As that was happening, Shino sent his bugs, but his bugs didn't come near Naruto. What is this? Shino thought, as he could sense it. A dark energy. The hell has it become? Thought Shino. Before he could do anything, Fang over Fang! They heard as Naruto looked at Kiba as he sidestepped Kiba's attack. Before her, his hands was surrounded in a dark, black matter. This is gonna be boring, thought Naruto, but he had to do what he had to do. Darkly's attraction, said Naruto, as the Kiba who was spinning actually stopped spinning as he was pulled towards Naruto. Naruto grabbed Kiba by the throat and slammed it down to the ground. Kiba coughed out blood. I can't use my chakra. What the hell? Thought Kiba. But Hinata and, Kakashi, who were in the distance, noticed it. So, that's it, huh? Kakashi thought, as he looked at Naruto's hand. Never thought that Naruto would be the one to awaken Dark Release, thought Kakashi, as Naruto let go of Kiba as he threw him to the ground. Well, that's for that, said Naruto. He saw that, they were not that strong. Naruto was just, you have gotten strong, Naruto. Kakashi said as he appeared a distance away. What do you expect? I was being held back by the leaf. I found someone who had the same ability as me and could actually teach me, unlike someone I know, said Naruto. Kakashi knew who he was exactly talking about. You're talking about me, aren't you? Kakashi said. I never said that it was you, but if you want to speculate it like that, you're free to do. But in reality, it is you, Kakashi. You never taught me. You always thought Sasuke this and Sasuke that. But, it doesn't matter now, does it? Even after the fact that I was your sensei's son. Naruto said. Kakashi narrowed his eye. That one single Sharingan eye at Naruto. So, I guess Shanks was the one who told you. He's the only one who can wield the same Genkai that you do. It's no surprise, since, the Dark Release was Uzumaki's specified Genkai. But who would have imagined, even among the Uzumakis that was rare, that you, of all people, would. Said Kakashi. Naturally, he was sweating a little. He knew exactly why Shanks was feared across the world, and even Kages have tried to avoid the fight with the man. It was because of that Genkai. Said Naruto. If you think I'm the same level as Shanks, you're on a completely delusional level, Kakashi. I'll show you the difference in power, said Naruto as his entire body was getting surrounded with a black aura. I'll show you what Dark Release can truly do when it is manifested by someone who can bring out its true power. Shanks could never do it since his body was not compatible, but me on the other hand, Naruto said. As the area started getting thicker, the tension was increasing. The killing intent was almost unbearable. Shit, this is one of his abilities, thought Kakashi. Anyone who's below Jonin level here in Chakra. But before he could say anything, Kiba, Hinata, and Shino were knocked out, with foams coming out of their mouth. That's for that, said Naruto. So he was even mastered the technique that can knock others out, thought Kakashi. Kakashi looked at Yamato and Sakura. We are the only ones left. We have to do what we can, said Kakashi, as his eyes changed. The Mangekyo, said Naruto, as he narrowed his eyes at Kakashi. That indeed is a useful ability. The Mangekyo Sharingan. No wonder why your bounty in the bingo book has recently increased because of that eye. Doesn't matter, said Naruto as he held out his hand. A Rasengan formed, but it started turning into a black color. Let's see how you deal with this. Naruto simply will let go of the Rasengan and he dropped it to the ground. Kakashi's eyes widened when he saw what was happening inside the Rasengan. Everyone, get out of here as fast as you can, he said. But before anything, Kakashi focused his eye on the Rasengan. Shit, if that lands or touches the ground. He focused his Kamui on it, and in a swirling vortex, the Rasengan was gone. Naruto looked amused by that. Huh. So that's your ability, space-time ninjutsu. It's somehow very similar. Thought Naruto, as he remembered. Agami's technique. What in the world is happening here? Naruto thought. He wondered why Agami was alive for so long. Kakashi, where did he get that eye from exactly? Naruto said. Kakashi narrowed his eyes as he dropped to one knee. That's eye, you say? Kakashi said. Naruto nodded. It's none of your business, said Kakashi. I'll drag the information out of you if needed. This is not a joke anymore, said Naruto. But before anything, he felt a presence. Can't be. Why is he here? Naruto thought as he looked back. Shit, cannot let him go there. He'll warp Sasuke's mind, thought Naruto as he leapt forward as Kakashi was tired. As Yamato tried to chase after Naruto, but the latter was just too fast. Yamato, stop. It's useless, said Kakashi as he looked at Yamato. Yamato looked back at it and looked surprised. Why? The Dark Release. You cannot face off against him. He's too powerful right now. We'll come back another day. For right now, we'll have to give up on Sasuke. Or at least wait until the other wake up, and then go and look for him, said Kakashi. Yamato just sighed and nodded. If that's what you wish. Sasuke glared at his sister as he stared into her eyes from a Mangekyo Sharingan that had been burned into his memory ever since he used it on him when he murdered everyone in the clan. He used their Mangekyo to show him how he killed everyone. I'm going to make sure when I kill you to rip out of those eyes that you're so fond of. Sasuke sneered, changing into his fighting stance. So his katana was touching on the ground, and his knees were bent. However, due to his anger, his curse seal was starting to appear, and markings all around his body. My, Sasuke, you have grown so much colder towards me. Izumi mocked, nor narrowing his eyes at the mark that was spreading throughout her little brother's face. Well, let me heat things up a little then, Sasuke said, sticking out his katana into the ground, before going through hand signs. Fire style, great fire dragon technique, Sasuke said, blowing out a huge fire dragon towards Izumi. He was slightly impressed by the level of techniques her brother was showing. Amaterasu, Izumi said, closing her left to right eye, and immediately her right eye began to bleed, before black flames appeared all around the massive flame dragon, causing it to kill it. However, Izumi widened her eyes. Through the fire dragon was was engulfed in a lightning fuse towards her. Through the massive blaze in front of her, Izumi was able to narrowly dodge by the katana by tilting her head to the side so that katana would, flew past her and stuck into the chair that Izumi had sit in previously. Feeling something run down her left cheek, Izumi brought her hand to her left face to notice a small cut the sword had been able to make, which made her smirk slightly before reaching for a kunai in her pouch. In a blink of an eye, she spun towards and throwing the kunai towards Sasuke. The kunai soared through the air before piercing into the chair, making the eyes of Sasuke widen since he had used the distraction of the fire to cut to the retrieve of his katana. However, Izumi had read his movements, and now he had a kunai. That it had been aimed a few inches higher, it would have rid of his manhood, they would say. Carefully standing up straight, Sasuke gulped before gritting his teeth in anger. She was playing with him. She was not even taking him seriously. Bitch, Sasuke muttered, trying to think of another plan, trying to catch up with his sister off guard. With Naruto. Naruto was running, as well he sensed it. That man. Before anything, he dodged a black rod that came towards him as he, jumped back a little as he saw the man. Agami, why the hell are you here? Naruto said to the orange masked man. Agami, with a single shotgun, glared at Naruto. I could say the same thing to you, Uzumaki. Shouldn't you, support Izumi Uchiha, since he has become so close to you? Said Agami. Naruto looked at the man. Well, she's strong enough, I know. She's, strong enough to at least beat Sasuke. But the thing is, you won't be able to warp your little finger on Sasuke anymore, since Izumi's gonna tell him the truth. And what he chooses after that, even if she cannot deal the finishing blow, I will be the one to deliver it. Kakashi and the others are not in the condition of fighting anymore. It's as simple as that, said Naruto. Agami looked at him. What makes you think that you'll reach there before me? You do know that I have a teleportation ninjutsu now, don't you? Said Agami. Naruto smirked. Your sneaky little teleportation ninjutsu. And what makes you think that I don't have one of my own? Said Naruto. Agami narrowed his eyes. You have one of your own, you say. You have my attention now. Naruto Uzumaki, said Agami. Naruto smirked. I knew that would get her attention. However, in a flash, Naruto was in front of Agami with his fist covered in chakra. Not the Dark Release chakra right now, it was just coated in normal chakra. As he tried to punch Agami, but he phased right through him. Agami just shook his head. Such a disappointment. And yet, you say that you're stronger than Shanks. That man would have never attacked me so intensely, said Agami as he looked back at Naruto. Let's get this over with, Uzumaki. I have things to do, and people that I want to manipulate in order to join my cause, said Agami. Naruto gritted his teeth. You won't be going anywhere, and I'll make sure of that, said Naruto. Agami just shook his head. Let's see then, Uzumaki Naruto, how good you really are, Agami said. He held his hand out as 3 claws appeared. What the hell, thought Naruto. His hands were now claws. These are not exactly claws. Claw blade. It's sort of like, sword in a way. instead of a kunai, one kunai, I have three of them, just strapped around my little three fingers. That's all. Said Agami. Naruto narrowed his eyes as he took out two kunais from his pouch, as he twisted it around his finger, as he gripped it in a reverse grip. Let's see how good you really are, Naruto Uzumaki, said Agami with a smirk. Izumi ran towards her little brother with a kunai in her hand as he threw a numerous amount of shurikens, each one of them was easily deflected by Izumi. However, seeing this, his sister approach began to use some more power from his curse seal, which made his body turn darker. In contrast, out of his back grew and hand-shaped wings. Launching into the air, Sasuke broke through the roof of the building, causing a large hole to appear. Izumi narrowed her eyes at the brother's action. She knew him well enough to know he didn't do anything without having a reason behind it. Jumping into the air by straining her chakra to her feet, powering up the jump, Izumi went through the hole, and she was immediately greeted by a sight of outside buildings. She could see the trees and the surrounding area. However, she was forced to quickly avoid a slice from Sasuke's katana. He had been waiting her to come up here. Sneaky tactics. That's not like you, Sasuke, Izumi stated as he slid back on the roof of the building, and she could feel a slight trail of blood coming from her cheek, where the blade had been able to slightly nick her. Well, seems like you know me as well as you think you do, Izumi, Sasuke replied, flying towards Izumi before trying to cut her with his katana, but Izumi was able to dodge each slice and was even able to grab Sasuke's hand to stop him from swiping his sword. As the two stared each other in the eyes with hate and anger for the other, starting with a stoic expression, rain began to fall down onto the building, soaking everything. Izumi kicked her brother in the stomach, sending him flying back on the roof before looking up at the rain, narrowing her eyes as he did. She could tell immediately this rain was natural, and looking behind her slightly, she could see a large city in a far distance where the clouds above it seemed a lot darker. Despite how far she was away, she could tell the combined chakra of Naruto, and she widened her eyes. Why was he here? Looking towards her brother, Izumi realized the fight was occurring behind her. Once none of her concern, she needed to concentrate on her brother and give him the fight that he had been waiting for. Sasuke panicked while glaring at his sister. The rain was falling heavily and it clouded his vision. Slightly, he gritted his teeth at the thought of everything. He threw at his sister. She threw right back at him with twice as much impact. His fire techniques had proved useless to him. His shotgun gun wasn't able to keep up with hers. Even his curse seal forms had been useless. She had been able to get better of him on every occasion. Looking back into the sky, Sasuke narrowed his eyes. He still had that, and he wasn't sure if he would survive it himself if he used that technique. Izumi clearly had the advantage over him with her expression and her Mangekyo shotgun. He could barely keep up with her. Seeing Izumi's grin at this misfortune, Sasuke decided he would use that technique. Even if it killed him, he would be able to get a revenge for his clan and bring back the Uchiha pride name. Jumping on top of the Uchiha stone monument on the building, Sasuke went through hand seals, which caused Izumi to raise an eyebrow. She waited. She watched him raise his hand in the air, and lightning appeared around it. Kirin, Sasuke shouted. What made to be a large lightning dragon appeared in the sky, making Izumi's eyes widen as it roared. Just as Sasuke brought his hand down, Izumi's eyes changed to a Mangekyo form. A blinding light followed by a large explosion surrounded the area, and the trees blew away, dragged out of the roots to the air pressure, and the explosion caused the mountain and the building that was resting on it completely obliterated by the attack. Sasuke groaned as he rolled over his top and had been blown up by the explosion, and the entire area had been nothing more than ruins. Now his arm was fried from the attack. Pushing himself up one-handed, Sasuke got to his knees. All Sasuke could see was smoke from the attack. His chakra had been completely drained. From what the last attack, it had been very fortunate for him that the thunderclouds had been there, but this must have been all the will of the gods. Seeing something move within the smoke, Sasuke widened his eyes from the large demonic red figure was standing in the middle of the smoke, looking at the bottom. Sasuke gasped in horror. He saw his sister. There, her cloak had been blown off, and only leaving her in a black tank top and her black pants had hole in them, whereas the Susanoo had been unable to protect her. I wasn't expecting that, Izumi muttered. She had one eye closed and panicked. The speed of destruction of the last attack was completely caught her off guard. No. No! Why can't you just fucking die already? Sasuke shouted, unseating his katana and jumped forward towards Izumi, attempted to stab the blade right through the Susanoo, but was unable and was sent flying back, landing on his feet. I can't die, Sasuke. Not right now. Izumi stated her vision was partially, null at the moment. All she could see was blobs of color. Sasuke grunted in pain as his curse began to throb. Out of nowhere, a large white snake had to grow out of the seal. No, I killed you, Sasuke muttered in pain. He stared at the huge white snake, which opened his mouth to reveal a refreshed Orochimaru who was grinning down at Sasuke. You could never defeat me, Sasuke, but it's time I claim your body. Orochimaru stated, preparing to launch an attack. However, a large sword that appeared to be made out of flames stabbed right through Orochimaru's chest, which made him even laugh more. Izumi, you can't hurt me now, Orochimaru stated while Izumi's one eye opened narrowed while Orochimaru's eyes soon widened out of a wide feeling. What the hell is this sword? Don't tell me. The sword of the Totsuka. Where the hell did you find it? Orochimaru screamed while his body began to suck into the sword, while Izumi watched this with a smile on her face. Sasuke stared in horror as his sister defeated Orochimaru, and she quickly landed her sights on him afterwards, backing away in horror as his sister walked towards him. Sasuke picked up any shurikens he could from the floor from their battle and threw them towards Izumi in desperation. Stay away from me, Sasuke shouted. His back met the wall as Izumi began to limp towards him, with the shurikens bouncing off her Susanoo before a demonic guardian disappeared. While Izumi made her way towards Sasuke, Rayleigh took a note out of a purple marking on Izumi's and wondered where, but his eyes widened when Izumi brought up her hand and placed it on the back of Sasuke's head. Sasuke, I'll tell you the entire truth. This battle's purpose is over. Orochimaru is no more, Izumi stated. Sasuke looked into his sister's eyes before her Sharingan showed him everything, from the starting to the ending. In a split second, all that happened. In the real world, it was only a split second, and in their mindscape, it was few days. Sasuke looked at his sister as he didn't know what to say. Sorry, Sasuke. I couldn't tell you the truth. But now, since the deal is broken with Akatsuki, you have to stay safe. And for that, I need you to go back to the Leaf. Will you carry on my wishes, little brother? Or do you still hate me for slaughtering our clan? If you do, you're more than free enough to kill me. I'm more than ready, she said. As Sasuke looked at his sister, he looked down. I I don't know. It's all too sudden, said Sasuke. Izumi smiled. You don't have to, little brother. Take your time, she said as she collapsed down. She wasn't knocked out or anything, as her back was just laid against the wall as she looked up at the sky. Naruto, I did it. She thought she was tired as fuck. Sasuke, well, he was already on a stupor. He was sleeping. He was more tired than her, and Izumi could understand. She's not suffering with the illness anymore, and that simply meant that her chakra reserves were higher than what they were before. Well, I guess this is it, she thought, before her eyes closed as well, and she gave in to the stupor and the tiredness of her body and fell asleep. Meanwhile, flashback ends. Sasuke looked up at the sky. He would never forget that day in his entire life. This is his sister's memories, what she had done for his sake, and for the sake of the village. If what his sister had told him was the truth, well, he could understand what she did because he thought she did the right thing, and Sasuke could not blame her. She killed everyone but him because she loved him too much, and vice versa. For right now, his sister was the most precious thing to him, and he knew that she would be protected. He didn't have to be worried about her. Not only was his sister very powerful, she had the world's probably most strongest man protecting her. She sighed. Well, a fight with Naruto was the fight that he would never forget. After he had woke up, well, shit went down that time. Sasuke just smiled. He hoped that things would settle down and everything would go back to how it was. Well, that is what he hoped. At least a peaceful life would be good. That was all Sasuke wished. Maybe one day, he would be able to have a peaceful life. And all this shit that is happening right now would just disappear from the world.